record. So it's going to be an interesting week. It might be totally normal. I have no idea. I kind of started working through the chapter, and by started, I mean just made it through a few of the pages, but I spent my whole day answering questions in lab hours instead of going through the chapter. So there might be things that surprise me while we're going through the chapter this week with this text. So we're opening up to 8.1. Interior and exterior elevations. It says this lesson will cover interior and exterior elevations. The default template you started with already has the 4 main exterior elevations set up for you. You will investigate how Revit generates elevations and the role of elevation tags and what they play in the process. You will also be introduced to a feature called design options. Creating and viewing exterior elevations. Here we will look at setting up an exterior elevation and how to control some of the various options. Setting up an exterior elevation. Even though you already have the main exterior elevation, so they're saying when we place them in these markers, you will go through the steps necessary to set one up. Many projects have more than 4 exterior elevations, so exterior surfaces are elevated. Open your project, so whatever you turn into me last is what we're starting from, and it says save it as a different one. I'd say different date. Switch to your level 1 floor plan, which I'm already in. It's under floor plans on the left side, level 1. Select view, create elevation is our step number 3. So view is a tab at the top, create is the subheader right here, and elevation is the little house looking symbol here. It says tip, select the main part of the split button, not the down arrow. So the big chunky part, not this little arrow. All right, so we're actively in the command right now. I can tell because there's the bright green modify elevation in the upper right hand corner. It says place the temporary tag in plan view as shown in figure 8-1.1. So they're showing putting it pretty much down here. And a little bit out from the building. And I'm just going to click to finish that command out. You now have an elevation added in the project browser. You can see that over here if we scroll down. It says elevation 1-A. We're going to flip over onto 8.2. After placing the elevation tag, you should rename the elevation label in the project browser, which is right over here. Under elevation, select the elevation label that was just added. It should be 1-A. Right-click on the view label and select rename and type South Temp. So I'm going to right-click with my mouse, rename, and I'm going to type South Temp. And click OK. The name should be fairly descriptive, so you can tell where the elevation is just by the label. This will be essential on a large project that has several exterior elevations and even more interior elevations. Double click on South Temp in the project browser. So double click, and that gives us our funky view. I'm just checking my messages. All right. So Ellen says she'll watch later. That's fine, Ellen. Thanks for letting me know. It says the elevation may not look correct right away and you will adjust in the next step. Notice though that an elevation was created simply by placing the elevation tag in plan view. Switch back to your level 1 floor plan view. So I'm going to scroll up in my project browser and I'm going to double click on level 1 until I see my floor plan level 1. It says, next, you will study the options associated with the elevation tag. This, in part, controls what is seen in the elevation. The elevation tag has 2 parts, the pointing triangle pointer and the square center body. So if we zoom in, we can see the square center body and the pointing triangle pointer. Each part will highlight as you move your cursor over it. Select the square center part. You should now see the symbol shown on the right, figure 8.1.2. View direction boxes. The checked boxes indicate which way the elevation tag is looking. You can check or uncheck the other boxes. Each checked box relates to an elevation view in the project browser. Rotation control allows you to look perpendicular to an angled wall in a plan. For example, so let's see, we see the little rotating tool. So they're saying that if we rotate right, this is like dead forward, side to side, off. Rotation is probably going to give us probably one of these corner views. Adjusting elevation tags, we're on 8.3. While selected, you simply drag the tag to move it. Press Escape key to unselect the tag elevation. So it says while selection, we could drag it to move it. I'm just holding with my left click. I'm moving it. It says press Escape to unselect. So I hit unselect. It takes me out of that little roundabout. Select the pointing portion of the elevation tag. I'm going to zoom out so we can get a better idea of what's going on there. Your elevation tag should look similar to figure 8-1.3. So they're pointing out different things. They're saying this dash line is far clip plane. This is my adjustment scripts that's in the center, these two triangles. We can usually use these kind of things to move stuff. And then a cutting plane or the extent of the view. The elevation tag as selected in figure 8-1.3 has several features for controlling how the elevation looks. Here's a quick explanation. Our cutting plane extent view line, this controls how much of the 3D model is elevated from the left to the right, the width of the elevation. Far clip plane, this controls how far into the 3D model the elevation can see. Adjustment grips, you can drag this with the mouse to control the features mentioned above. Select the view label South Temp in the project browser. Now look at the properties palette selecting for the view. See notes on the next page. So we're flipping over to 8.4. And then in our project browser, we want to select South Temp so it's active in our properties type selector. You have several options in the properties palette. Notice the options under the Extents heading below is an examination of the three of these settings. So crop view, which is, let's see if I have my South Temp picked. It's under my extents, so I gotta zoom down a little bit. Here's my crop view. The crops the width and height of the view and elevation. Adjusting the width of the cropping window and elevation also adjusts the extent of view control in the plan view. Crop region visible. This displays a rectangle in the elevation view indicating the extent of the cropping window described above. When selected in elevation view, the rectangle can be adjusted with the adjustment grips. And far clipping. If this is turned off, Revit will draw everything visible in the 3D model. So that's our far clipping right here. You will manipulate some of these controls next. With the elevation tag still selected as in figure 8-13, so we want to have it looking like figure 8-13, they said, drag the cutting plane extent of view line up into the atrium as shown in 8-1.5. So we can do that by just clicking on the top arrow, and they're pulling it up to looks like right in here on our elevator shaft, kind of through the center of this piece. It says line into atrium as shown. Yes, we can move on to 8.5. Now switch to the elevation view South Temp. So I'm going to double click back on my elevation view South Temp. The elevation should look similar to 8-1.6 on page 8.5. If required, click the cropping region and resize it to match the figure 8-1.6. So mine looks okay. It looks like we could change, this is their cropping region. They're just saying you could pull it up slightly or down slightly as needed. The atrium, curtain wall, and roof are not displayed in this section because the location of the cutting line in the plan. It shows the cropping window in our picture. Notice that the roof is not fully visible. That is not related to the cropping window shown in the figure 8-1.6. Rather, it is related to the far clip plane set in the plan view. Adjust the far clip plane in level 1 plan view so the entire roof shows in the South Temp view. Okay, so they want us to go under our properties browser, and they want us to go back into here. And they said they want us to adjust our FAR clip plane so that it shows more of the roof or all of the roof. I don't know if we'd have to, I mean, if dragging it to the back is going to show too much, but I'll go ahead and do that since they don't give us a hint. And then I'm going to check it in my south temp. All right, that seemed to fix it. So again, it's under level 1 floor plan. I just grabbed my FAR clip plane and I dragged it to the back of the building so that I knew all the roof would be included. It says, next you'll adjust the elevation tag to set up a detail elevation for the atrium curtain wall. So I'm going to stay in a level 1 plan, and it says adjust the elevation tag to show only the atrium curtain wall. So in that case, I believe we're just going to stop right in here because this is our curtain wall portion. I mean, if you want to pull it back a little bit further, you could right to where it ends. And it says switch to the south temp view to see the detail elevation 8-1.8, which is on the next page. Adjust the south temp's view's properties to turn off the crop region visibility. This can also be done via the view control bar. So properties, turn off the crop region visibility. So if with it moved here, I'm going to do under here crop region visibility, and I'm going to uncheck it. That's what I'm getting from this note. And turning off the crop region's visibility, I'm going to apply. And then I'm going to flip over to 8.6 to make sure everything looks okay when I go into my south temp. And then it says crop region visibility should be turned off in step 20, which was back before. And right now we're showing a little bit more of the atrium's detail. Atrium curtain wall detail elevation. Let me see. I see what they did. All right, so if we go back up to floor plan level 1, all they did was they moved this portion out for closer. So just right in about here. And then it should look like theirs. So now if I click on South Temp, we have a match. And we don't see, they're saying we would not see the crop visibility. They're just showing it because they have to, so you would know what you should not be showing. Okay? All right, that brings us to exercise 2. How's everybody doing? Did you get all of these steps to work out for you? Yes, from a Heather. Yep, from Katie. All right. Well, I don't hear a resounding no, so that's positive, and the majority are yeses. If you need to stop me, please do. So modifying the project model exterior elevations 8-2. The purpose of this exercise is to demonstrate that changes can be made anywhere and all other drawings are automatically updated. Modify an exterior elevation. So we have this exercise now open. We're going to open the east exterior elevation view. So, no. Is there no east exterior elevation on here? Do you guys have an east exterior elevation? I'm using a student who isn't here, and I always just use a random one.
I do. I'm thinking you have west and west 1, so I think that one of those is probably your east.
Let's see which one. Never eat shredded wheat. All right, hold on. I gotta move my GoToMeeting. I can't even see my screen. All right, this one's east, west 1. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, Julia. You've got to change this and rename it, Julia, to be east. However, it became west 1. Okay, so now we have our east elevation. It says, use the window tool to select fix 32 by 48 in the type selector. So it's under architecture, window, and we want to go to fix 32 by 48. You have a what?
It's like cut through, I can see my stairs.
No, it should not be that. 1 second, I'm going to pause to help Jordan really fast. Remind me to start the recording when I come back now. Okay, so I've picked my window that's 32 by 48 and it's showing in my type selector. You'll insert the window into the elevation. This will demonstrate first that you can actually add a window in elevation, not just plan view, and second, that the other views are automatically updated. Notice with the window selected for placement, okay, so I have it selected for placement. You have the unusual, or no, the usual dimensions, helping you accurately place the window. As you, it's still not? All right, 1 second, Jordan. I'll just finish out this note. Okay, so as we move the window around, you should see a dashed horizontal cyan colored line indicating the default sill height. Okay, so I am seeing what I'm thinking is sill height is the underneath portion. We have the left to right placement, but I'm not seeing, I suppose if they want to say that's the sill height, they can. Because this is really left to right. Sill height for me is above finished floor, but maybe they're just.
You might have to go down just a little bit lower.
Oh, that's what they meant. All right, sorry. Oh, it disappeared on me. Really low. Okay, so there's our sill height line. So above finished floor where it's going to be placed. It says, place the window as shown in figure 8-2.1. Make sure the bottom of the window snaps to the cyan sill line. And I'm actually very close, but I want it to be 4'6" and 10 and 3 9/16 as shown in 8-7, 8-2.1 figure. All right, I'm going to help Jordan again. 1 second. All right, so we're ready to flip on over to 8-8. It says switch to level 1 plan view. Notice the window is added. So if I do scroll up and I go to level 1 and I go to that corner, I can see clearly the window was in fact added. Tip, if the window is towards the inside, use the control arrows to flip. So mine is, and that's where I need to flip it by clicking the control arrows until this portion of the windows is on the outside. It should look like the window in figure 8-2.2. Switch back to the east elevation view. So I scroll down in my properties browser until I get to my east side. And it says add windows as shown in figure 8-2.3. So we need to probably, I'd say, mirror it on the other side. So our second window, we have 8 foot 8 inches and 5'4". So I'll start with adding some of those other ones. If I click on architecture window and I'm going to place another one, I'm going to start by putting all these base ones in over here. And it says it's 5'4". Height 5'4". And really I want it from the corner. Hold on. I want to see if I can get it to figure that out for me. So I come to sill height. And I'm looking up at the top. I just don't like how, tell me, Heather, Katie, someone who's working, when you're down in this corner, is that bottom portion with the, like, where it says 5 foot on mine, is it snapping to the exterior corner like it's supposed to, or is it inset like this?
Mine's inset like that too.
Okay.
I just placed it and then I went back in and I typed the 5-4 distance.
Okay. Because I mean, you could type it now, but so when you type the 5-4 distance, if you place it, does it, like if I was to click on this window, is there still like a need to do that is what I'm wondering. And then this is 5-4 so that it's a true. See, so it's exterior. Did you check that when you did it, Katie?
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as we make sure that our snaps are clearly exterior, interior, the way that it's just automatically snapping seems to be in setting it. Might be clicking to like the frame of this door on the other side. I'm not knowing for sure, but we want to place our window. Do you need to see me do that again? I can do it again. So if I didn't have a window there and I was going to place my window, we want to drag it up till we see that cyan sill height line. And sure, we can place it just like Katie was saying, and we can adjust it after. But the issue was that when we click on it, it's not snapping outside to place the window. So we need to double click that dot until we are then able to have it be exterior to center, in which case we can type our true measurement of 5 foot dash 4 inches. Okay, so there's that guy. And then we could go back into our architecture window and we could find our next one, who's supposed to be 8'8". Oh, he's so close. I just want him to snap by doing it, but he's not gonna. So then I could click on him and he just needs a bare minimum change. Okay, center to center. And then were we able to do, let me see how many steps it does. Okay, so it just says add, so it doesn't care how we do it. So I wanted to see if I could do this and if it will snap to the next spot that it's supposed to or not. Did you try doing the copy command, Katie, or did you just add them all?
No, I haven't gotten to that part yet.
All right, because it has its own sill height up here, but it didn't look like it snaps to it when you copied it. So I'll do one this way just by, I mean, we can continue to do the same process going up, right? So we could place again and place again and select this, double click until it's on the outside and change it to 5'4". And this one's 8.5 feet. And we can change them to be 8'8". Oh, did it do that down here too?
Oh, you know what I did, Allison?
What?
When I copied 2 of the windows,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I went up to paste, I clicked align. Wait, I went to paste, and then I clicked align to same place, and it lets you just
Oh,
click
yeah.
on
Gotcha.
like the level.
5'4", and then this one I want to click on its own, and really it's that I want to change. I just had my brain slowing down after all these question and answer times. All right, so this one is center to center, but I want this one to move this way, and instead it's moving on the outside. So I could just move him and drag him 0.5. Okay, and then he's okay. So you did this, so you did control, and you copied them. And then, did you do a copy to clipboard, you said?
Yeah.
And then you did align to same place?
I actually did picked level.
All right. Cancel. So control, copy clipboard, align to picked level, and then this one?
Yeah, but then it only kind of lets you go up from there. Like I couldn't go over.
Gotcha. All right. No, that's still helpful. I mean, if we had figured that out in step one, I think that's good to know. So thank you, Katie. And then, yeah, I don't think it'll work the other way. Like it wouldn't let you pick this line or this line after you did that, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. So then but we could mirror these? No, that's not safe. Because it is, no, it's not equal. So it wouldn't be safe.
Yeah, don't mirror it.
Yep. It wouldn't be safe. So we can do this one originally. So we have 5'4". So that's kind of interesting. They like change measurements on you. So technically then this one, when we do 4'6", if we click on this again, this is weird. So shouldn't this be 5'4"? Can't we just make this 5'4"? Doesn't that make more sense to everybody else? Like if you're going to continue.
Well, if you look at the picture though, it's not a line to the outside. It's like a line to the center of the wall or whatever.
Yeah, I know it is. But what I'm thinking is how can you know anything else about where to place a window on this side if it's not similar to the other side? So when I did that though, it was so close to being the same, which makes me think I would put the other window about the 8'8" in, because if I had aligned this to the outside, it would be 5 foot almost exactly 4, but it's just a little bit off. So it's kind of strange. But I guess we can just assume it's about 8'8" for the other window. That's what I'll have everybody do, because I don't think there's an instruction on it unless I'm missing it for this side. So we can go into window and we can place our other window, and then this guy needs to be, I'm gonna move him over because it was about that. So 8'9" and 9/16. I'm just afraid to type this too again because it wants to move it the other way. 8'8". Okay, it did fine. And it kept this one here. All right, so then we can do her fancy little trick where we do the selection and the control, the copy clipboard, and then align to selected level. Sure, I'll save my project. I shouldn't have to do that. Let's do this. Control, copy. Oh, you did align to pick level, right? I'm having a sleepy time. All right, so
Yeah.
this, and then copy aligned to pick level. 1, 2. Oh, and it doesn't even let you go up another time. At least mine didn't just then. Copy aligned to pick level. Okay, so we got all our fancy windows and our one little door guy. It says if you laid out the interior walls as described in lesson 3, you should get a warning message when inserting the windows on level 1 towards the north side of the building. This is because the interior wall of the room in the northeast corner conflicts with the interior window.
That could be why the measurements matter.
Oh, you mean what measurements? Who was talking at me?
Karen,
Which?
like on the would our right hand or left hand side be the north side of the building? Would those measurements make that warning pop up if it's just over just a tad bit?
This one or this one? Because
Right.
this one is right, because you can see the alignment that they have is 5'4" and 8'4", and that's what we have. So we have
Right.
5'4" and 8'8". But then on this side, we have it like their picture. You can see it's snapping. It's not snapped to the exterior, and they've told us unless it's 4'8", Is it 4.8 or 4.6, do you think? I read 4.6, but maybe it's 4.8. Your eyes might be better than mine. What do you think? On 8.7, that little teeny tiny text, it looks 8.
That looks like 6 to me.
Looks like 6 to me.
All right, so let's try 8 and see
Yeah.
if that will.
If we get a message.
Yeah. So I somehow just did something really odd. All right. So if I click on him and okay, I think someone fixed it. I couldn't hear, now I can hear fine. 8.8. And then this one, if I move this back in, 4.6. If we change this to be 4'8", I don't know that it's going to make the difference to give us a note, but we'll try it, and maybe that's more correct. Okay.
Book it said if you didn't get the pop-up to just ignore this step, so maybe not everyone's supposed to get it.
Wow. You know that you have good writing when not everyone will get an error message. All right, a line to pick level, this guy. All right, but I do think it's like, is it 8 or is it 6? I think maybe it is 8. Like there's a rounded piece, so, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we corrected that, guys. We'll save our projects. All right. Oh, they drive me crazy. All right, so where am I? I think I went back a page to look at something. Revit is smart enough to see the conflict and bring it to your attention. You'll probably want the windows to be uniformly spaced, so ignore the conflict and move the wall in the plan view. Click the red X in the upper right to ignore the wall and window conflict. Oh well. And then switch to level 1 plan view and revise the wall as shown in figure 8-2.5. So let's see what ours looks like in plan view. All right. So they were saying up here, oh, it was so close, but it didn't interfere with ours. Oh, that's scary. So is it showing move the wall so it does not conflict? They want us to move the wall up enough, though, that it's over that window. That's ridiculous. You will need to use the split tool and break the wall where it offsets. You can select the wall, just the wall. The doors will automatically move with the wall, and use the move tool to move it north. All right. Check disjoint on the option bar. Also notice that the windows on the east walls will be flipped. Okay, so they're saying notice these are flipped the wrong direction. So you could click these guys first of all so that they're flipped out the correct way. And actually, Julia's got some flipped in. We'll let her fix that later. All right, and then this one needs to flip out as well. Up here, if we're gonna do what they say. All right, so I want to do my split element and join.
That was too fast. Where was that split element?
I don't know yet. It's supposed to be here, but it's weird that it cracked it like that. So it was right at the corner of like the interior walls, just like on.
Well, I mean, where did you get it on the toolbar? Is it that
okay.
like the blue line and the pencil?
It's the one with the break right here in the center.
All right.
Select the point or removes the segment between 2 points. Okay. Oh, let's hover back over it. Cuts an element. When you split a wall, the resulting parts are individual walls, so you can modify them each. Okay, so this is where I wanted to. Yes, that's what I wanted to happen. I don't know why it did that weird little thing, but we'll see. And then I'm going to click on this wall, and it says we use the split tool to break the wall where it offsets. this is what I'm thinking that means. You can select the wall, just the wall. The doors will automatically move. Use the move tool, move it north. Check disjoin on the options. So move, and we're going to check disjoin. And it just wants us to move it north of our window. And then I'm going to click OK. No one else has to do this in case something happens. That's like really scary. All right, so it seems to be okay, except for this little piece right here, in which case I feel like we can clip it and delete it, right? So if I split this here and I delete that off, and then let me see if I can't. Where's my join actually? Oh, I wonder if I just hit align for this one. So align. Oh no, I want to align this and this. Okay. So it looks okay, but this is completely split. And in theirs they have it not, but I can't imagine if we're going to split the wall. And I can fillet these two. That fixes that. But this poor guy, he needs to be joined to this guy. So how can I do that? Are they not even touching? They should be. And this one's okay over here. So how will I join them? Should be. Hold on, I can't see anything behind this one. Highlighted elements are joined but do not intersect. Okay, so if this in fact does, then that'll just fix it, is what it's telling me. I can drag it so that I elongate it into the wall, joining it automatically. Let me get something. Go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe I wonder because mine didn't split all weird like yours. I wonder if maybe you accidentally had the what would that be, north-south wall instead of the east-west wall?
North-south.
Like at the intersection? Do you know what I mean? I just wondered.
The north-south. If I had hit this wall?
Yeah, like accidentally when you were like real close in there.
Maybe. Oh, when I joined it, you mean, or split it?
When you split it.
Okay. It could have been, but it's all fixable. So we could fill it anything, or we could join anything, or just drag it back in, as long as we're over our window a little bit. And we did click disjoin when we moved everything, so the doors and everything go with it. Is everyone's okay-ish? Looks believable compared to the picture on our 8-9. We should all kind of look like that. I'll read my chat.
I need just a second to catch up because I accidentally did just one room instead of two. Haha.
No wonder yours was so easy. Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm going to assume we're all doing just fine. We've got some ugly looking spaces we've offset. I'll wait for Heather, and I'll kind of look ahead to 8-10. Let me know, Heather.
Well, like I got it, but now I've got a 17-foot room, a 17-foot room, and a 9'6" room. But that's not right, right? What's it supposed to be?
I mean, it didn't give us any measurements. It just said move it above the window. So if it was, like mine is about 10 foot. You mean width-wise or length-wise?
Yeah, the width.
I've got 13, 9. I'm not doing centers. Are you doing centers or?
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I don't know so from like the first one, the interior wall to the center line. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I don't know what's going on. Okay.
Did you do destroy?
Oh, I know what I'm doing. I didn't select the right wall. Okay, so what is that first one? 14 feet?
Yep.
Thank you. Uh,
And then
oh shoot. Unjoin, I guess. Shoot. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Let me see. Class, thank you for your patience with me. So this one, okay, the second room is 10'6".
that's what I have. Yep.
Okay. Why? Okay. I'm having an issue. I know, like, if I want to adjust a wall, I click the wall that I want to move and then the measurement, right? And it's supposed to change.
So if you adjust this, it's gonna go this way. It's gonna go right. If you adjust this wall is gonna go left. Okay, so this wall going left and right. If I click here, then I am going to move this wall down and up. But if you're saying like you're adjusting this, then it goes over back and forth. Is that what's happening to you? It goes back.
No, it was just something where, like, when I clicked on the measurement to change it, it just
So if
it
you're gonna
didn't.
change this to be, whatever it is, then you also want to make sure it's, interior to match mine. So 14 foot to center, and then you could adjust it until it says that. But then if you want to change this room to be bigger, you'd have to adjust this one to the left. Or you'd have to adjust this measurement actually. So this one to change the size of this room,
Yeah.
and this wall to change the size of this room.
Okay, I'm almost caught up. It's just user error.
That's okay.
Okay, now I have a 9'6", a 10'6", a 14 foot, and one of my doors went away. So I just need to peek at your drawing if you don't mind.
What's a 9'6"?
What did I do? I'm on the 3rd floor. Shoot, I'm not supposed to be, am I?
No.
Ugh. Ugh. I'm having a bad day. Okay. You know what? Now it looks like yours. I just massacred my 3rd floor, but that's okay. I'll fix that later.
Okay. All right, Heather.
Undo.
All right. So we're gonna we're gonna switch to level 1 reflected ceiling plans. So ceiling plans level 1, and then we can see clearly something's gone awry. So we're gonna fix our ceiling. Note the ceiling grids are likely not aligned with the revised walls. If this is the case, see the explanation below. So ceiling grids not aligned. Okay. Most of the time when you move a wall, Revit will automatically update the ceiling grid to fit the new room. However, occasionally the definition of the room boundary is lost when making modifications. In this case, you'll have to delete the grid and reinsert it, or select it and edit the sketch. Deleting a ceiling grid. When selecting a ceiling grid, Revit only selects one line. This does not allow you to delete the ceiling grid. To delete, hover the cursor over the ceiling grid line and tap Tab until you see the ceiling perimeter. So they're saying I could hover over this, and then I'm typing Tab on my keyboard until I see the whole boundary of the ceiling. And then I could click Delete in order to delete it. Ceiling perimeter, highlight, then click the mouse. The entire ceiling will be selected. And it has to be like this, so I had to click to and then click delete. So I'm going to undo that though, because I like the edit method. So if I was going to click this and edit my boundary, I could move this up here, and I could just all the way, okay? And I could check it, and that would fix that one. And then this one in here, I could edit my boundary, and I could do that. So there's 2 ways. I'm just showing you 2 ways. I could just pull it, and then I don't have to fill out all that fancy stuff. It can do itself. And I could check it. and then it's adjusted that ceiling. But then I'll have to adjust this one as well. So I need to fill it some stuff and delete some stuff. All right, so
Sorry. I'm like totally lost unless I ask you this. Can I peek at your level 1, please?
yes, you can.
Thank you.
All
Because
right.
now I'm not sure what is different because my wall is not in the middle of the window.
All right.
So
1 second. I want to draw my last line and then I'll come back to this step if people need me to. All right, and check, and now all the ceilings are accurate. So if I go back to level 1 for Heather, what do you want me to do?
okay, so you just moved that wall behind the window. Like mine is on the other side of the window, but I do need to change that, right? And make it all tiny.
Yeah, that's what happened. So originally it was flush underneath this window, for mine anyway, like Julia's. And then we moved it up over top it, and that was the change. That was the offset.
Okay.
So I had trimmed it down here at the corner, or split it, I should say. And then I used my move tool to select this whole wall, and I clicked the disjoin button, and then I moved everything up.
Okay. I've got it looking like it. I just said it was weird that mine on the 3rd floor, my wall was in the middle of the window, and the 1st floor it wasn't. It was like, okay, so anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right, so everybody was able to, except for Heather, who's catching up, correct their ceilings like I did on the screen here by editing your boundaries or deleting and completely redoing them, if that was how you felt like you wanted to do it. Yes?
My ceiling went across like the corner one.
Your ceiling in which room?
The big room, the 9-foot room.
It turned 45 degrees? That's okay. You could. So you just need to. That's how mine was, and then I edited it up.
But I can't like deselect it.
So you click on one of the lines, and then click Edit Boundary in the upper right corner, and then delete it out until it's in the space, and redraw your lines until it's just in that top corner room. Okay. Let's see. I'll check my chat once again. So no one's responding. Katie Davis, did you do okay?
No,
No.
I didn't.
Hey, I
can't
did
really figure out how
something.
to cut.
I did something better than you today. All
Oh,
right.
good. Since you didn't do it, you can do it one more time, right?
Sure, let's go backwards in time, okay? So I'm backwards in time, backwards in time.
Thanks.
All right, so this is the junk I was dealing with when I got into here. And I can just select on one of these ceiling boundary lines, just one of them, and it brings up the edit boundary box. And it'll show me this boundary, and I could just click this and drag it up and zoom in until it's flush with this line, and click, and now it's adjusted, and I can click check. Does that work out, Katie and Heather and everybody else?
Yes.
I actually, I can't even move my wall. I'm
Oh,
still like
no.
way back.
Oh, no. All right. So let's share your screen. Is that okay?
Well, I have I'm working on 2 computers right now, so.
Okay. Well, what happens when you try to move it?
I guess I get confused when I'm doing the split tool, which parts I'm supposed to be splitting.
Okay, so let's pretend there was a level 3. Well, or we're on level 3. And like this is pretty much where I was on level 1. You know what I mean? Like it was when this wall was down here. We were we're basically acting like if in real life we wanted to take a knife and cut through and just get everything left on this side of the wall left. So I just cut up and down at that connection So right here, I just cut up and down until that wall was sequestered by itself, this whole horizontal piece. So the cut looked like this. Well, let's see if it'll let me do it while I'm in here. It won't let me because it's already separate, but I just did an up-down cut, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
like this. That's what the cut looked like, except from this little notch over. So this was one whole big piece. And
Okay.
then from there, I think it was acting as one like whole wall at the time before I did all this filleting and everything else. So then I had the one wall and I went to move it. And when I moved it, I had checked disjoin, which is what I think they said to check. So if I go back, it says check disjoin on the options bar before you finish your move. So you click move, you check disjoin, and then you move your whole wall up. And we're just going up over this window a little bit.
It's not an exact dimension.
Nope, the book
Cool.
doesn't care. Not today. Can't get any points off for this one. Anybody else struggling in silence? I think there's only a few of you who actually do it in real time, so that might be why some of you are just sitting back drinking your coffee and watching the news on silent in the background. But we'll get there. Heather, did it work out for you? You're caught up?
I still need to go fix whatever I did upstairs, but that screen right there looks like my screen, except for you have carpet and I don't.
Okay. Yeah, that's Julia. All right. So then your ceiling's all worked out though, right? You kept doing the same process, click a line, edit a boundary, move it up.
No, I just did that one. I was like waiting for you. I thought you were doing the whole thing again. Sorry.
All right, so you just do the same thing for that next square room. And then it's a check mark.
Edit boundary. Boop. Okay. And then I have a blank spot.
And then you're going to click on a line for the big room below and click edit boundary. And that's where I went to the draw tool and I drew a line up at this, well, let me make sure I'm being precise, at the intersection and up. And then I filleted those because it was going across. And then I grabbed my next drawing line tool and can go over. And I can really just finish those off by filleting these two. And that should be enough.
Woohoo! Thanks.
I'm going to
I feel better now. Huh?
I said I'm going to save because I want to make sure it's all there.
Yeah.
All right. Katie, did you get it fixed?
No.
Oh.
I'll just come back to it.
All right. So it says our figure is going to be fixed. It says add the same layout of windows to the west elevation. All right, this is fun. I love it when we have a big step like that. And then it says tip, mirror the windows in plan view each floor. Okay, so let's go to level 1. And do we still have that? Yeah, we have the mirroring boundary. All right, so we want to do control, 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 mirror, and we still have this guy. And there you'll have it. You just want to make sure they're turned on the right way. And then I'm going to, after I did control, 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 and then I did my mirror, and then I chose my flipping boundary, which was this weird dash most of us probably still have left at the center, over. After I get it on one floor, they're saying we can do control, 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 and we can do copy. And then we can go up to our second floor and we can do align to current view and not cutting anything. Yeah, right, you're not cutting anything. So let's see why it doesn't think it's cutting anything. Okay, I clicked.
Shouldn't you just copy the west one and just do the west wall since the east wall already has windows?
Oh, on the second, oh, yeah. You're right. You're right. I'm not thinking of it in 3 floors. Well, no. Let me see. What if I look at the west wall? So second, I get what you're saying because I get what you're saying. Yep, you're right. Just the west wall. You're so smart, Heather. Glad we had the Heather. All right, so
Gee, thanks.
That answers my question. I was going to ask if it duplicates the windows. The answer is no, because it won't cut it again.
yeah, it won't. So we can do the first floor like I had done it, but then we have to do just control 4 times and then copy and then up the next 2 levels and then paste align to current view. Well, I already did it, so it's showing up here. I didn't have that many undos. And then a level 3, the same thing, paste align to current view. Yay! Good catch. And then save again, because that's some substantial work. All right, let's check our west view. Happy day. All right, let me know when you're all caught up. Seems like Karen and Heather were all on top of it, so they're probably caught up too. And then,
I'm good. I just noticed some of the windows were like 3 of the 4 were on the correct side, so just something to look out for.
what do you mean?
I don't know. When I did mine, it was just like 3 of the 4 were facing the right direction. I
Oh,
was like, I don't know
you
why
mean
the other one didn't want to, but whatever.
you mean in the plan view, like switch?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So be looking to make sure all your windows are turned and facing the directions they are supposed to. Like Julia's are needing to be flipped on all of her levels, but these ones are accurate. Okay, so we can move on then to 12. It says save our project. Tip, entering dimensions in Revit. As you experience Revit with Revit grows, you will want to learn some of the shortcuts using the program. One of those shortcuts is enter your dimensions when drawing. Okay, we've been doing that for forever, and I don't think we need any of the decimal information. So we'll move on to 8.3, creating interior elevations. Creating interior elevations is much like creating exterior elevations. In fact, you use the same tool. The main difference is that you are placing the elevation tag inside the building rather than on the exterior. Adding an interior elevation tag, open the project that we have on the screen, switch to level 1 floor plan if necessary. So for me, it is not necessary. And select the elevation tool. So we want to go to our, hold on, view and create and elevation. Okay, so now I have it selected, and you should all have it selected. It says select elevation, interior elevation from the type selector. So let's drop this down, and we'll make it an interior elevation before we place it. Then place the interior tag looking east in the atrium area. Figure 8-3.1 place as shown in the center of the room. All right, so I want it closer up here and pointing this direction. Center of the room though. Let me see something. So I just hit tab on my keyboard because it was like changing whenever I pulled to the center of the room. In reality, it would change the location of my tag. So I hit tab until I was in the center and then could hit tab to control which way it was going to point. Okay, so I'll place it there. It says change the name of the elevation to East Atrium. So I will go to my elevations. It says remember the first thing you should do after adding the new view is give it an appropriate name in the project browser list. Change the name of the elevation to East Atrium. So building elevation, interior elevations, we need to hit the plus in order to see our menu, and then we're going to right click on this guy and rename him, and he wants to be East Atrium. And then we can click OK. Switch to the East Atrium view. Try double clicking on the pointer part of the elevation tag to open the view. Boop. Double clicked. So this is what I am seeing. So it should look like 8-3.2. You will adjust the next view. Notice how Revit automatically controls the line weights and things in this section versus things in elevation. The elevation tags are used to reference the sheet and drawing numbers so the client or contractor can find desired elevation quickly while looking at the floor plans. This will be covered in a later lesson. It's interesting to know, however, Revit automatically does this, fills in the elevation tag when the elevation is placed on the sheet. On 812,
Have roof lines and you don't.
I know, Heather. So it says, switch back to level 1, pick the pointing portion of the elevation tag so you see the view options. You should compare the two drawings on this page, figures 8-3.2 and 8-3.3, and see the control lines in the plan view dictate what is generated visible in the elevation view, both for width and depth. So if we go back to our level 1 floor plan, and we click on this, and I'm assuming if we want to have that, I'm looking at it this way. Let me see if I adjust that control enough. I need to adjust what I can see here. So I need to pull this up, and I could pull it up higher to see both of them. That looks more like what they're showing on 8-12, although their line is different in here. So this is over a bit more, but this should be about what you're seeing. And it says, the goal is to set up interior elevation of the entire East Atrium wall with the floor, structure, and roof shown in section. Adjust the control lines for your elevation tag as shown in 8-3.4. Okay, so when we do that, we'll go back up into my level 1, and then I'll click on this again, and they're like, this is drama. You don't need to be this dramatic, Mrs. Green. So they drag it back this way, and it says, drag the cutting plane to the extent of the view lined to the location shown. Make sure far clip plane extends past the door alcove, otherwise it will not show up. So past the door alcove. Switch back to the East Atrium view. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. This is aligned. This is like this. All right. Okay, so I'm clipping past. So, oh, sorry guys, not East Atrium. I was like, that's really wrong. Right, there we have this. And then we can always drag this way to show more of this. But ours is showing our, a little bit of our elevator shaft guy. And they're not showing their elevator shaft guy at all. So I didn't drag it close enough to the face in level 1 floor plan. So if I click him, oh yeah, he's way crazy. I'm gonna bring him down, and that will adjust that. And then we can go back into our East Atrium, and it should be, sorry, wrong guy. Oh, you did not. So if I go into level 1, and even further in, where are you, guy? Okay.
Their elevation tag isn't exactly in the middle of the elevator shaft. It's more towards one of the sides. Would that make any difference?
Let's see. I'm gonna see if now that I pulled it way far in front of the elevator shaft, if that's the cutting plane difference. Da, 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 da. No, it's still showing it. We can check that, Sam, and see if that's the problem. They're the ones who said centered in the room. I took it very literally. So we can move it this way. This guy. I'm trying to get the body of him. Oh, let's see. If we move him a little bit over and then choose this guy. And they have it there, and they have this there, and then they have this past here, but not too much past here. And then they have this. Oh, I don't know if this is affecting it at all. That the fact that these things don't love each other or not. But let me check again. No, it's still showing him. Anybody else? Does yours look like this? Peoples?
I'm not real sure what you're trying to do.
Next page, Allison, that's where it shows where to move it really, really close to the door.
On 812 or
On 813, that's where it tells you where to move that so you don't get the elevator shaft for the extended drawing.
okay. Adjust the control lines for elevation tag as shown in 8-3.4. Oh, I was looking at the wrong reference image. I gotcha. So if we go back, Sam's saying to level 1, and we are going to change this to be way closer to the doors. And we are going to, this looks like it's a little less dramatic than that. Okay, so that should fix the problem. Make sure far clip plane extends past the door alcove, otherwise it will not show up. So there's this. Okay. Then if I go into my east atrium, it looks beautiful, Sam. Thanks. So it says switch back to east atrium. Other than adjusting the height of the view, you have the view already. Select the cropping region and drag to the top middle grip up and increase the view size vertically. So mine already is vertically enough that I can see everything. It says you could just click on it and use your top middle grip to control that as you want it to be. And then we can flip over. So we'll be on 814. And let me just check my time really quick. So I've got 6:49. All right, we're doing okay. So if the ceiling were drawn from the 3rd floor, your instructor may have assigned this. You would probably stretch the crop region down to it. Interior elevations don't normally show walls, roofs, and floors in section. An atrium elevation like this could be an exception for the floors. Now stretch the top of the crop region down to the approximately 9'6" above level 3. Go to the ceiling if you have to draw one for level 3. If you have to, draw one for level 3. So you can probably stretch the crop region down to it. So they just want us to move our cropping region down. So we can click this and move it down to here is what I'm getting. It says stretch the bottom of the crop region up to align with the top of level 1 floor slab. That's fine. Ours is aligned. And this is aligned with the top. And then this one looks about like theirs. Okay. It does look like 8-3.6 for me. You can leave the crop region on to help define the perimeter of the elevation. You can also turn it off. However, some lines that are directly under the crop region might disappear. You could use the detail line tool to manually define the perimeter. Also notice the level datum automatically resized to match the new scale. When space permits, most interior elevations are 1/4 inch equals 1 foot 0. So now we're on 8-4. This short exercise, similar to 8-2, will look at an example of Revit's ability to change anything, anywhere. All drawings are generated from one 3D model. Modify interior elevations. So I'm going to save this just because. Open this exercise. Open the east atrium elevation view. You will move 2 doors and add 1. Select both of the single doors on levels 2 and 3. Use the control key to select multiple objects at one time. So control. It says use the move tool to move the door 6 foot to the right, south. So we want to move these 6 foot to the right, south. So move them, and I'm going to type 6. Oh, it doesn't let me just type 6 foot. Hold on. It moved just the one. Control, move. Six foot. I'm going to click OK. and it looks like it did just fine. So it says in the East Atrium view, use the door tool to place a single flush 36 by 84 door on level 2 to the far left north. Okay, to the far left north. We want to go into architecture, door, single flush, and it said 36 by 84, which is what's automatically on mine. If not, you could drop it down and select that. And it says we're going to do it to the far north over here. All right. So we can flip over to 816. Now it's time to see the effects to the plan views. Switch to level 2 floor plan view. Sorry, that's ceiling plan, level 2 floor plan. Okay, so here's our floor plan. You can also see a similar change on level 3. So it's saying here is our added door and here is our relocated door. Added, relocated. And we'll go to 3. And here's our relocated door. All right, so when placing a door in elevation, you may have to switch to plan view to verify the door swing is the way you want it. You cannot control the door swing in elevation. Well, actually, you can via right-click on a door in elevation, but you would first need to know which way it's swinging. In elevation, you can adjust many things this way. Some examples are ceiling height, interior and exterior windows, wall locations, perpendicular, and current view, etc. So now we're in 8-5, adding mullions to a curtain wall. It says this exercise will cover steps involved in designing a curtain wall system only from an aesthetic viewpoint, not structurally. This is surprisingly simple to do. First, you draw a grid on your curtain wall. This sets up the location for your mullions, which you will add later. So we're going to save our last progress, and this is where we're starting from. It says switch to your south temp view. So that's under our elevations, building elevations, south temp. And it says, I'll zoom in for you a little bit. Select architecture, build, curtain grid. Architecture, build, curtain grid. And it says draw the grid as shown in figure 8-5-1. So we have 5'4". So let's see what happens if we can drive them forward. So I'm going to do 5'4". And then, so really we could have probably placed a ton of those. So architecture, a curtain grid, and then let's see, these are 4 foot, 4 foot, 4 foot. So down 4 foot. Okay. So I didn't want to do my fancy thing. 4 foot, architecture, curtain grid. So if I wanted to place one from here over 4 foot, I could. And then there. Oh, sorry. Guys, I'm really sorry. I'll tell you something at the end of class. All right, so if I'm doing my architecture, curtain grid, and then I'm snapping to this guy, and what was my measurement? 5'4". Fine, I'm just going to arbitrarily add. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2. All right, so I'm just going to push all of those over after I create them. So 5 foot dash 4 inches. 5 foot dash 4 inches. Uh-oh, we're getting our vertical movement. So then I want to do this one. It would move over. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to confuse you all. Am I crazy tonight? All right, so what's the best way, though, if you had multiple and you place them? But if I click...
Can you offset in Revit?
Yeah, you can. It's right here. So offset,
Okay.
but it won't let you click on... So if I click on this line, for instance, let's see if I can offset this line. I don't know that it'll let me do that. So
okay.
let's see. If it says copies or moves a selected element such as a line, a wall, a beam of specified distance, you can offset an element or chain belonging to the same family. But it doesn't let me like initially highlight that. So
I figured something out.
what?
If you do the copy tool and you copy is it mullion, the up and down one? Or okay, if you click the mullion you want to copy, and then when you pick your point of offset, you click the one behind it, then you can just click the one that you just selected, and it'll put it that same distance away from it.
I like that. So if we just keep clicking copy, then it pretty much finishes it out.
Maybe. It doesn't, I can do like a whole bunch of them in AutoCAD and it's awesome.
It only
This
lets
one,
you do one.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what's so strange about it. But let's try this one. So if we what about this one though? Because it's going so far away. So if we do copy and we do this, we don't get the same kind
I would
of.
think that you could copy that. Is it mutton?
About
How do you
this
say
one,
that?
I could copy
Mutton
about
or
this
whatever.
one. Yes, yes.
Well, if you copy that and then you click the datum line above it as
Below.
offset point, you should be able to do it like that.
Yeah.
Or like that. Same thing, just different.
Same thing, but the opposite, but the same.
Right?
So if we did this and copy, and then our datum line is the point, since the levels are the same, we just figured it'll place them in the same spots. They don't know how much we miss CAD, and they're all like, I'm talking about CAD. All right, so this is what it should look like. Am I missing extras? I think it's okay, but see how on 817 they have, like, here's my 4 foot and then a line, but they have this being solid. So I'm wondering if these are supposed to have, like, it's supposed to be this line and this line, or this is their dash line. They just don't have it dashed in the book.
I wondered that too, but mine shows up. Never mind. What do you think? Somebody else is doing it.
Well, see how, like, on our screen, because I did, like, it shows to put a 4 foot underneath this line and 4 foot underneath and so on and so forth. So I did that, but then is it that this is supposed to be a line as well, or is it that?
I just looked at the front cover of the book, and I'm going to say yes, they're all solid lines.
Okay. So you copied it and put it on there too. So if you copy this and you want it on your datum line too, then you got to add them extra. So if we copy this, we're going to add another one. Not there. That'll be the end of the world. We're going to copy this guy. Why you know what to copy?
The way I did it was I clicked on the dash line and then drew it 4 foot down. Yeah, 4 foot down. And I just did that for each one. And it made them solid.
But did it make both? So it made all of them solid, this and this? Interesting. Jordan said when she copied it, they became solid the way that she was doing it. Is that how it worked for you, Heather?
Yes, they are all solid now, but I put them all there.
Okay, so we'll do them all solid. So it looks like the front of the book. South 10th view, current grid label. Oh, that was close. If a curtain grid line did not land in the correct place, you could select it and adjust the dimensions that will appear on the screen. To select the grid, you need to place your cursor over the grid line and press the tab key until the curtain grid is highlighted. So if we want this, we get to hold it over that and then hit tab. It says until the curtain grid is highlighted. And then click to select. So like we could click on that, or we could click on this, and then we could go tab, 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 like we can get to all the different pieces. Select the curtain grid tool and then click on the one segment option on the ribbon bar. So let's see. Over here it's showing add or remove segments. Here's my create. Hold on. I want create placement, select curtain grid tool, and then one segment. So architecture, curtain grid, gotcha, and then one segment. Draw 2 vertical lines to set up the main entry door location. You do not need to draw the dimensions shown. Draw the dimensions shown. So they're just giving it, they're saying don't dimension it out, but you get the idea. So 3'4". Draw 2 vertical lines. So I'm going to draw one there, and I'm going to draw one there. And it says, I want to see what this is like. So I can do, even though it says do not need to, I can't help myself. All right. I think this one's already adjusted. So it says 3'6", 3 foot. Okay. All right. Notice that one segment option limits the grid to the cell you clicked.
How did you, could you redo that step?
I just clicked on the lines. So I just placed them, and I had gone to architecture, curtain grid, one segment, and then I placed my segment, just click, click, where it was showing in the book, which was off center of this line on either side. And then once I placed them by clicking, I clicked on the individual lines, and then I could type in how to drive the dimensions to B34. All right,
The measurement of the left side, please.
they're both 3/4, and then 2 foot.
Thanks.
All right. So it says, next you'll set up curtain grid lines around the corners. This can be done from the east or west views, similar to the previous step. However, this can also be accomplished in a 3D view. Click the 3D icon on the quick access toolbar. Our quick access toolbar, which is up here. Mine's hiding right now, but that's where it would have been, where those double arrows are. And it says, using the curtain grid tool, add grid lines shown figure 8-5.4 starting at the outside corner, space the grids 5-4. The last space will be smaller. Okay. So, oh joy. This is not a happy day. So something's going on here with Julia's. Does anyone else's look like this? Where there's like not a connection here? Or like double walls almost? Yes, no? If it's a no, it's a no. So I don't know. I'm going to delete that and I'm going to move this back. And this might be like the last thing I ever do in life, but you know what? It looks better than it did. And then from there, I'm just pretending I'm you guys. And I'm going to do my curtain grids. And I'm doing it from here, 5-4, and continuing back. So 5'4". And while you select it here, you can change it 5'-4". Ah, it wanted to kill me. All right, there we go. And then we said we could do copy and do this and do 5-4 inches. And then it says the last one's gonna be, you know, a little bit slivery. So that's okay. 5-4 inches. Okay, so yours should look about like that. And then it has the same lines meeting up with these. So if I did this, I can just click on the corners. That's what's so great. Okay, so if yours meet up, it'll continue with no problem, just like mine do, matching up to the grid on the other side. But the issue is Julia just has a little bit of an alignment problem with the two walls. Okay, so these should kind of flow with each other. Then it says we can add our doors. So let me make sure, they probably want us to do this on both sides. So we could move over here and do it on our other side too. So I could do, I wonder if, probably not. I wonder if you can mirror, like if you select all of these guys in a 3D view. One, if you can select multiples. So, nope, because it's part of the grid, you can't. You can only have the whole portion or not at all. Okay, so in that case, we'll have to do the monotony of curtain grid. Architecture, curtain grid, And I'm going to do my snappy ones first. These are the easy, happy ones. Zoom in. Okay. So those are all in. And then I can do architecture curtain grid and find my corner. And it's place a line. Click on that line. Say 5 foot dash 4 inches. And then I could copy it and move it 5 dash 4 inches. Ooh, that was 5. Okay. And then we have the whole front. So yours won't have this weird second box thing that's going on. She just has this, it's like an extra row of stuff. Okay. So it says adding doors. Switch back to the south temp view. Select one of the 3 foot 4 wide cells you placed. So double click on south temp and it says select one of the cells that I've placed. Okay. Place your cursor over the edge and tap tab. So that's what I did. Tab, tab, tab. Oh, okay. I just didn't do it enough times. Until it's highlighted like this. So you have the full cell. Tab, tab, tab. And then it says click select with the cell selected. You got to do it quick. I'm reading your instructions. And then I lose it. There we go. You have to have it blue to be selected. With it selected, go into door, curtain wall, single glass. And then Julie's going to be excited about this because we talked about how she couldn't use curtain wall doors inside a building, and that's why it wasn't showing up for her other project. So pick door, curtain wall, single glass from the type selector. Single glass 1, single flush. So I'm thinking we have to load a family in for her. If we go to doors, does it show up in yours? Yes? Oh,
No.
okay. Okay, so let's go into door. We're going to go into load family, and then door, curtain wall, single glass is the one that we're going to load in. And then open. And let me make sure this is selected when I do it and see if that's the issue. Because we tried to do this with her today and it was also giving us issues. Okay. So it says with the cell selected, pick door. So it should say system panel, yes. And then it says pick door, curtain wall, single glass from the type selector on the properties panel. But they're showing the system panel glazed. And then we don't have anywhere to type that information without changing the whole type. Okay, so here it shows up then in the type selector once I've loaded it in, as long as we don't go out to doors. So it has to be from the system panel glaze portion. So door, curtain wall, single door, glass. And then it'll put it in there. It says per steps outlined in chapter 3, load the door family. Yep. Repeat the previous 2 steps for the other side. So it's
Mine didn't like it unselected that piece.
unselected. So if you click on it and then you do tab, 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 tab. Well, we want this side though. Tab, 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 tab. There we go. You have to click it right when it happens. It's like a
Well, I had it selected, and when I went to load the door, then it wasn't selected anymore.
All right, so it's under so it's selected and then dropped down and then it should stay. As long as,
Oh, I was looking at architecture doors.
yeah, I
Okay,
had gone there first and then I saw in the book that they stayed under the panel, but they did need us to load it in that way. You had to load it in using doors under architecture. You couldn't have been under this. So we loaded it in and then we clicked on it and selected and stayed in this menu. And under this menu is where we could drop down and once it was loaded, click on this.
Okay. It'll be nice when I can finally do this without reading a book. Hey.
Yeah. All right. So we have that takes us to the end of 819. And then it says, and ours does look like the books, it says adding curtain mullions. Thus far, you've simply set up the facing of the curtain wall mullions. Next, you need to place the curtain wall mullions. This involves selecting a size for the mullion, as they typically come in many shapes and sizes. The depth is usually related to the height of the curtain wall, as the mullion acts as structure for the glass wall. Switch to your 3D view. Okay, so here's my 3D view. It says select architecture build mullion. Architecture build mullion. Select rectangular mullion 2.5 by 5. That's what it's already set to. Under my type selector, you could drop down if you needed to. Select all the grid lines you previously placed and the perimeter, excluding the corners and the bottom horizontal member on the south face. All right. So this. So you can see it's doing it, right? It's adding some girth to them. I'll make sure there's that one. I can pull my cube and go around and add all of these. And really we can do the uprights too if you want to while you're on a side. I was just getting all my horizontal members in there. It says don't do the corner ones though. So I bet if I hold shift and click, I can undo that one. Okay, I've got this one and this one and this one. Looks pretty good. That was easy. It says next you will add the horizontal mullion at the bottom and the south side. You need to place this mullion so it does not extend through the door openings. With the mullion tool selected, click the grid line segment from the ribbon tool. So my mullion tool is still selected. I want to click grid line segment over here from this toolbar on the ribbon. Click the bottom edge of the 6 cells, skipping the 2 door openings. So 1, 2, skip, skip, 3, 4. And then I think we can go all the way around. Kind of assuming, probably going to say on the other page, don't do it. Don't finish it all. All right, so we skipped our door. We added all those other pieces. Click on the 2 verticals next to each door to place a mullion. So we can place one here and here. In this example, you will not place a corner mullion. This will be a butt joint condition where the two panes of glass are held together with silicone in the corner. However, 8-5.7b shows corner mullions that can be added. All views now be updated to show curtain mullions. Switch to level 1 plan view to see the added mullions and doors. All right, there they are. Sad day, this little portion in here. So I'm going to go back to my 3D view. And I'm going to add those portions so I can go into mullion and click there. I just forgot to. I don't know if you were thinking about it or not, and you did it, and I just did it. And that should help to complete those. So now when I go to level 1.
So did you use the same tool to do the vertical?
I did.
Okay, and then those last pieces, I shouldn't have done those, so
No, you should
how
have.
do I? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I didn't do them, but Julia's, I don't know, is yours thickness all the way through? Is everyone else's thickness all the way through here? Continuing? Because like even with adding my mullion there, I don't have a continued thickness. Or like here and here, I don't have one. So let me check my 3D view. I mean, I deleted out a wall on her front portion because there was something going on, but.
Sorry, did you put them on the corners?
No, I
thought you said
didn't.
something about not doing
I didn't. Yeah, they said don't because they're just butting up to each other and they have silicone in them. But it's like if you accidentally did, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's just a aesthetic choice. So
Okay.
if I go under architecture and mullion, there's a mullion there. Oh, it's because I don't have a base. So good to know. If you don't add your base and your ends, it will not create a thickness, and it'll prompt you to add your base and your ends to create a thickness. So right here, I'm missing my little thicknesses into those smaller portions on the part of the door. So I can go back into my 3D view, and I got to really get in there and just add a base in there. I'm sure you guys did it 100%. Let's see, I want segment and segment. And now it's great. And I'll save it. All right. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I didn't get enough of my vertical lines in here.
Uh-huh.
How do I add that? It's not letting me.
All right, 1 second. I'm going to check something with Jordan in person here. All right, pause this. Start my recording. Yeah, I just left. I gave up. All right, so I'm back. Let's see. That takes us to 8.6, design options. Okay, so let me just look at this overview. Design options. I just want to read it and make sure everything in it is something you can in fact do at home, because there's not something special to do with the design library. Model place. Nope, I think this one's totally fine. Okay. So, fun. I know it's going to be scary, but we're coming up to the end of our class. So 5:30 to 6:30 to 7:30. So I always push it a little bit more because it's really not straight to 6:30. It's really earlier than that, or 7:30. So we're going to end for the night because it's a good stopping point. That brings us to 8.6, but your homework that you're turning in is the whole chapter. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me. I will, of course, be here on Thursday. Thursday's a great day. I'm here from about 12 o'clock till 7:30. And even if I don't send out an invitation for some reason, just text me and see if I'm like ready to do a go-to meeting that people can come to that day before class for my next class, and I can meet with you. If you have an emergency thing or some other time that you want to meet, then we can do that. Tomorrow is my birthday, so that's not the day to message me and get a response. Sorry.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, tomorrow's my birthday. All right, so I'm also pregnant, so I've told most of this class that already, but it seems to be affecting my brain already. It's just like cloudy and really tired all the time. So you might hear that lag in myself, but hopefully it won't get any worse. So any questions about the homework? We're going all the way through to the end of the chapter. If something really awful goes wrong in 8-6, then we can talk about it as a class, you know, if I needed to have recorded it. 29.
Are
Do you have any
we,
quizzes this week?
because there are so many variations, are we turning in the variations as well?
Because there are so many variations. What do you mean, Karen? Variations in what?
Like you're going to be, it's showing you, let's see, changing the atrium from flat to curve. So that'll
No,
be a
just whatever,
variation.
just whatever it lands on. So I know it lands on like
Okay.
creating a curve. So if you follow the steps
Okay.
through, they do make you play with it because they want you to try both types, but it'll end in an final example.
Okay, just however it ends is fine.
Yes,
Okay.
it'll end like the front. All right. Yes, I'm turning 29. So that's exciting. But and I think we're going to be babyless for my birthday too. We're happy last year of my 20s. Thank you. Do you have a quiz? You do have a quiz, and I checked it, and it's the same questions as the end of the book in this chapter. It is the right chapter, so that should work out well. Samantha said, do we have class next week? Is it fall break or something? I'm so bad at this. I'm not. Like, if you want me to look up on the calendar, I'll stop